Have you always wanted to utilize Reels in your wedding business, but you don't have the know-how? Or maybe you want to start a blog on your website, but you just don't have the time? Or are you feeling a little uninspired by the content that you are putting out there? Well, if this sounds like you, we have just the solution. Introducing Content Club, a drag and drop content subscription service for the wedding business. Each month, you receive all of the content that you need for your wedding business so you can literally schedule and go. To find out more, visit the link in the show notes and let's start getting your socials working for you instead of you working for them. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wedpro Podcast. Great to have you here, as always. I'm here with Katie. Hello.
Oh, that was that. Here with Katie. Hello. Hey, lovely to see you. How have you been?
Been all right, yeah. I think I've stepped into like the best version of me, and I'm loving it. And that's what we're talking about today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really good. That's good to hear. I think we're off the back of those of you that follow us on Instagram will have seen that we are off the back of going to an event last week where we obviously, we put on events, that's what we do, but we also go to the kinds of events where we're surrounded by other like-minded businesses, other businesses that coach, and kind of learning in that space and being in that room. And we had some amazing speakers, like Denise Duffield Thomas was very inspiring, wasn't she? Lovely lady. It was like rock star vibes, wasn't it? Lots of people there for Denise Duffield Thomas. And lovely to kind of chat with her as well, wasn't it? And get that time with her and so our kind of person.
Yes, so good for my soul, so good for our soul.
And I think probably one of the levels, and I actually did know this about her, I think I've known it through something, but I totally forgot, is that she spoke about having ADHD.
Yeah.
And we both have children that have got ADHD, haven't we? So like, even the way she presented, the way she spoke, she was kind of, the energy that she had, one thing that I noticed of her, which actually I find that sometimes I do, maybe I have ADHD, is how she would start a story, then she'd kind of go on to another point, and then she'd come back to the story. It's like, oh, I definitely recognize that in myself sometimes. I do that. But totally, she's got like such a vibe and such an energy. So she teaches, for those of you that don't know anything about just Denise Duffield Thomas, she's like a mindset guru, isn't she? Like money mindset guru. And she kind of first came into our sort of knowledge and world. I think I was looking for something on money mindset a couple of years ago. Something had been said on a course or something I followed about in terms of like money blocks, and it piqued my interest, and I thought, right, who can I find that's got a podcast on this? And Denise Duffield Thomas, who owns this space, absolutely owns this space, popped up in very short podcasts and just spoke to me in terms of being able to kind of confidently work on your mindset around kind of any money blocks that you've got, or being okay with accepting money into your life, or removing any like negative thoughts that you might have surrounding your pricing or how you earn your money, etc. That just clears the way for more success. And I know that some of the time people don't really connect with that kind of woo manifesting and things like that. But for me, manifesting is never about saying it into the universe and it magically happening. It's about actually just clarity on my goals and where I'm at and where I'm going. And money mindset for me is about actually picking apart like actually the psychology of why do I think in certain ways. If I notice a negative trait in myself, or potentially that I'm not comfortable asking for money in a certain way, or maybe comfortable with like asking for that sale, why do I think like that? What's happened in my life to make me think like that? Or I want to break that down. And that's how it's been for me. What did you get from it?
So for me, I just love Denise's energy. Anyone that's got good energy is my kind of person. It literally instantly like refills my cup. It's like she's got like an electricity finger and she's gone zap, and that's it. I'm like, oh yes. I can resonate with her energy quite often. I feel like I'm a bit like her, like a bit crazy all over the place. But I love it. And for me, kind of this money mindset thing, I didn't really know a lot about it. You obviously kind of found Denise and then introduced it to me, and it took me a little bit while to kind of understand kind of the processes and the mindset around it. And it took me a while, I think, because actually I was overthinking it. I was trying too hard to like look into like what this could mean, what this could be, when actually it can be whatever you want it to be. It's your journey, it's your path. And I've understood a lot more about like money blocks and why I might think about the way I think about money now because of my past. But yeah, the whole experience of that conference was just amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I remember you saying in terms of resonated quite well with you is that she got up onto a stage of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and said, oh, you know, I'm a massive introvert. And you wouldn't think that because she's got quite high energy, had time to speak to everybody, and that wanted kind of photos with her and any of her time. Well, she was really generous with all of that, wasn't she? But then she stood up and said, you know, I don't like people, and I'm a huge introvert. And
that was something that, like, as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, okay. Because I don't know, do we always get stuck in the mindset of, okay, we've got to be this way or we've got to be that way, we've got to fit into this box, one box or another box? Well, actually, like, it hasn't got to be like that. And when she said, oh, I'm a massive introvert, I was like, oh, hold on a minute. So you can still be like that, but then you can still stand on the stage and talk to lots of people, even though, like, she admitted, like, it's not always easy for her. I was really refreshed by that because it was a little bit unpolished, you know what I mean? And that really, really spoke to me, is that it's that kind of imperfect action that's better than anything at all.
One of the reasons why we kind of go to these sorts of places and invest in these things in terms of us and our business is because it does re-energize ourselves, doesn't it? And it kind of makes us feel like motivated. And then, you know, you're not always going to learn something from a speaker that comes onto the stage. Sometimes you're going to have maybe seen a similar talk before, or maybe you don't particularly resonate with that speaker, or any kind of reason. But there is magic in being in the room of other people, like-minded people who are there to learn, hearing from other people and their stories and what they're doing in their businesses. And exactly what you said, like, you feel like you've stepped into your power. I feel like one of the main reasons why we go to these, or I know I do, is it is that clarity when I walk away and think, right, what's the path? Or, okay, what is it that I want to focus on? It's this. Okay, fab, let's go. And that energy, like, re-energized for my business. So
yeah, I mean, I've come away and like my brain's just been like buzzing. And it's strange because at the time it's like, okay, I'm taking the information in, writing some notes down, and then I think, okay, not sure what I want to do with some of this information yet. And then it's those days afterwards when your brain's like processing, it's like, okay, ching, like, I've got an idea, let's do this, let's do that. And I love how kind of from going to one event, it then has a knock-on effect. Like, it doesn't just last that day, it's then you've got that clarity to take those steps that you need to take in your business to get to where you want to be. And it's a really valuable thing to do as a business owner, is to look after yourself as much as you're looking after your business. So these events are just gold for that. I love, like, exactly like you say, being in a room full of all those other business owners, like, when you look around and you think, yeah, we're all doing it, like, I don't know, it just feels nice.
We said, didn't we, though, would we have like an event post come down where we've got like almost an event hangover because you get up early, there's a lot of traveling involved, you know,
road trip.
people that come to our events will know this as well, like a lot of travel involved, you do take in a lot of information, you don't have a lot of time in between each speaker to kind of process that, and then it's kind of whirring around in your brain, you're kind of making sense of it all, going back through your notes, etc. I don't feel like that today. We've been very busy today, haven't we?
Very busy. We've not had time to let it sink in yet, like the hangovers coming.
Yeah. Ooh. We upgraded everybody. So those that kind of know from the last time we went to this event, like I think there was a little joke that we kind of said, like we're never away from the kids, we never like go away. And we ended up in a McDonald's like for dinner. Because we were just so starving, and we walked into the first place and we were like, oh, we should have like gone somewhere lovely. Well, this time we were traveling back really, really late, so we upgraded to a KFC, everybody.
There you go. Not only a KFC, it was so romantic because it was over the motorway.
Service station KFC, quite late night as well, weren't we? We were just starving.
Just so hungry. Was like, okay, we just need to eat some food to get some energy. But no, I really loved, I'm not joking, every part of it. The driving there, the getting that time with me and you in the car, like just all of it.
So yeah, we're looking forward to the next one, aren't we? The next time where we can have a bit of time away. And exactly like what we say to you when you come to WedCon, it's that time away from your business to work on your business and to work on you, your mindset, everything. So yeah, we had an absolutely amazing time. And one of the things in terms of pulling it back into our podcast topic that we wanted to talk to you today about was in terms of, like, yesterday we spoke to a lot of people, we spoke to loads of people in all different industries and all different kind of backgrounds and things that they did in their business. Lots of people that did sort of similar things, either in the coaching space or maybe personal trainers or you know, all different businesses and all different kind of things. Was actually like how easily they were able to communicate what they did, knew who they were, knew what their unique standpoint was. And there were businesses in kind of loads of different fields, weren't there? There were other wedding industry coaches that we knew that were in the room, other people that were in the wedding industry. We've had like a lovely Instagram message from one this morning. It was like, I met you in the toilet and I didn't realise who you were. I'm in the bridal industry. And I was like, oh, like, but how people are able to communicate that and really lean into what makes them unique in their business so that they are then able to attract their tribes.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to talk to you about today. It's like finding your sweet spot, finding your uniqueness, finding what makes you you, and being able to communicate that effectively, because this is something, my gosh, we can struggle with and have struggled with, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
I always find whenever we do any website work, if I'm ever writing our about section, I kind of have a mental block around it. Like, what am I writing here? Like, how am I communicating our experience? How am I communicating, you know, our achievements in a way that sounds authentic and sounds like us? And we wanted to give you some kind of tips as to how you can stand out in a crowded market and create a business on your terms that you love by being unique and you.
Because there is only one of you. There is no one else like you in the world. Unless you're a twin, but then you've probably got differences anyway, unless you're a twin.
Okay. And that was one of the things that we really noticed, is to like what's setting up this success in this room, because there was businesses in there that were making 2 million plus, weren't they, in revenue?
Yeah.
Like they asked you like at what point in your business you were at, and you know, and even Denise Douglas Thomas that stood on the stage, like she made £14 million in profit, and we were like, okay. What's setting up these businesses? What's setting up these 6 and 7 figure businesses owners? And the difference is it's like how they present themselves and where they stand. Like, they're not the being everything to everybody people. They're so clear on their message. They're so clear on who they serve. And by owning who they are, they're attracting clients and customers to them, because they absolutely know who they are. They absolutely are clear on their business, who their client is, and they want to attract those sorts of people.
They are fully unapologetic about who they are. Not in an arrogant way. We don't have to think about this in like, oh, look at that person showing off. It's not about that. This is about like, the inner self, that like what is setting you apart from what's making you stand out in a crowded room. You know, we know that this industry, there's a lot of businesses that on the face of it do the same thing, but actually, yes, that is true, but there are a lot of things that set everybody apart. So you just got to think, what could you accomplish if you knew how to really stand out for the magic that you are and for the magical things that you do? Like, just think of the possibilities, like step outside of that comfort zone and think, okay, like, gosh, I could change the world with this.
I love that you said that. Like, it's about not making yourself invisible because you're the same as everybody else. Mm-hmm. So by being the same as everybody else, like just another wedding photographer that I photograph pretty weddings, or just another, you know, makeup artist, like I make your face look beautiful. Well, yes, we're all skilled, like we're all incredibly skilled at what we do. You're incredibly skilled, like listening, you know your business inside out, you're amazing or whatever it is that you do. But it's actually more than that. It's actually about not making yourself invisible by only being a great wedding photographer. Yeah. It's about stepping into what makes you, like we're multifaceted. What are the parts of you that you're happy to share and happy to talk about and happy to kind of let your clients know a little piece of or own a little piece of, so that people can connect with you on that level.
It's kind of a question of what are the possibilities if you no longer blended in, if you stood out, if you stuck out a little bit, even with your toe to begin with, just like a little bit, where could that take you? And we all struggle with thinking about these things about ourselves, like the positives about ourselves rather than the negatives. So I personally like to think of it as, I always ask myself, what do other people think about me? What would other people say are my strengths? Like, how am I different to another business that does similar to me? What is it that's making me unique? And these are the things that you want to be sharing and getting across in your message.
I think that and we touched upon it in terms of what I said about Denise DeFore Thomas and what she said when she came on stage. There's this thing about, in terms of sharing other parts of you, like a misconception that means that you need to be extroverted in business. That's not what we're saying at all. Like, you don't need to be extroverted. You can absolutely own being introverted, but it's about finding some other things, like other amazing skills and qualities that you have that you can share to people, so that you stop blending in. You stop waiting to be chosen by people. You stop like playing small and riding that kind of self-doubt, like exactly what we said. Like, we struggle with this. Like, I absolutely struggle with this when I'm writing, you know, copy for ourselves. Like, absolutely can find it in other people when I'm writing copy for other people and writing about sections and, you know, their emails and the copy for other businesses. Absolutely. But somehow struggle to find it in me and think, right, okay, what other sides of me are awesome and that I can share and that other people will connect with me on, or what other sides of me resonate in other people as to either what I've achieved or, you know, what I want to achieve or my views on things, etc. But what sets you apart from other people and what sets successful businesses apart is that uniqueness.
Is that doing something a little bit differently in a different way than what the mass are currently doing, and doing that actually is going to get you noticed more. You're standing in a crowded room with your hand up in the air, like waving a flag, like, hello, I'm here. It's just about taking those initial steps, and it's just about, you know, thinking about those things and then thinking about how you can reintroduce yourself. It doesn't have to be like a rebrand of yourself or like a relaunch or anything like that, but how can you inject those parts of yourself into your business message? Because doing this as well, we've all got those ideal clients that we want to work with, and it's really important that those ideal clients align with everything about you. So this is a really good way of attracting those ideal clients.
Yeah, and I think, like, when we think of like successful business owners, what you know, like the big people in the world, the Gary V's, the people who have like all of the Grant Cardones, they've all got like that uniqueness about them, or that thing that resonates with their audience. And, you know, I've chosen very extroverted kind of characters. You know, even being, you know, super organized, or saying, you know, this is what you like to do with your family. And, you know, it's about communicating those things in a way that joins up with what you do, so that people connect with you on a level and you become their person. You become their person that they say, oh yeah, like I can see that person can bring those skills, or that element of their personality, and they're going to be able to inject that into my wedding, and into, like, they seem like a really awesome person to do business with, like I want to give my money to them. So that you just don't blend in and become like everybody else. That's literally all this podcast is about.
It's literally it's about like sharing that story. Like, some of you may know, some of you may not know that are listening, that you know, we speak about the fact that we've got children that have got additional needs, and we tell you things like this about our lives, because then, you know, you guys relate that we're human too, and we're telling you, know, that we understand, we get it, we're mums, we're partners. So that's how we relate to you. So you've got to think, what can you do, how can you say it?
Also, just to kind of comment on that, it's not just a case of, okay, that we've got children on the spectrum, or children with additional needs, because we actually don't communicate this in our marketing enough, I feel. And I feel like off the back of kind of really understanding and speaking to really amazing businesses in the room, it's like, okay, yes, we have incredible challenges in our lives, and yet we still run a business, and we juggle things, which shows that we, you know, we are able to juggle. We are able, you know, we've been through some of the struggles that some of you might be facing, and you can relate to us on that sort of level. But also, by having some additional challenges and having children with additional needs, we've got incredible patience. It gives us
resilience.
Incredible resilience, incredible patience. We've got one of the skills that's definitely taught me is how to explain things in different ways, which is definitely a skill that translates into our clients. And, you know, if our clients aren't really getting something, you know, it's very natural for me to explain the same point maybe 3, 4, 5 different ways, because I have a neurodivergent child who sometimes doesn't hear what I say, because it's been heard in a different way than I've said it. So it's quite natural for us as parents, isn't it, Roxy, to have to find 5 or 6 different ways to communicate one thing so that it is understood and received. So when we're working with our clients, one of the really great skills that we're able to kind of pull in and bring in is that, you know, we will make sure that you get it. So if we're saying something in terms of a level, and that's not just the way you learn, or it's not quite connecting with you in your business, you know, it's not like we've got one teaching style and that's it, or one way of explaining things and that's it, and this is the way we know how to explain it. That's not us at all, is it? Like, so no. It's actually like people might connect with us on that level because, oh yeah, you know, I don't want the pressure of wasting Katie and Roxy's time because I feel like I don't get what they're talking about. Well, we would never think that, because we're incredibly patient people, aren't we? Incredibly patient. And also, we want to see results for you. Like, we want to see you have amazing results in your business. And as part of that, you know, we might need to explain things in a different way. Not everybody learns in the same way. Like, everybody takes in information in different ways. And we absolutely get that, because we do it day in, day out, in not only in our business, in our personal life as well. And also having that kind of listening skills, I think, as well, because quite often children on the spectrum may not be able to communicate the needs that they've actually got. So some of the time they communicate like, or the way that they're communicating isn't, they're not able to say their needs, they're not quite able to see, or even see what that need is. And I think one of the skills as well that we kind of comes quite naturally to us is being able to spot actually what it is you're getting at when you're saying some of the time in business, you know, we know there's a problem, but we don't quite know what it is. And actually, that's a skill that I really think that we kind of have, because, you know, one of our superpowers is that we've got children kind of on additional needs. So it's not just about the juggle and people relating to us in terms of, oh, you know, I've got children too, or I might have caring responsibilities as well, or kind of just on a human level. But it's also about like the way we live our lives, the way, you know, we bring up our children actually transfers into skills that people think, yes, when I want a business coach, I want a business coach that's going to be incredibly patient. I want a business coach that's going to be able to spot the problems in my business that I don't even know I have, because they're the problems that are going to save me a load of money. And this is what we're kind of trying to explain to you. And we absolutely need to communicate this better, not only on our podcast, where you lovely people know us anyway, but we absolutely need to communicate that better in other things that we do. So we're learning as well.
And we are going to take this as accountability that from this moment forward, we are going to make sure that we are giving our like message to everybody and through every touch point that we've got. What I want you all to do, sat there at home or walking the dog, listening to us, I want
don't tell people to close their eyes. Don't tell people to close
no eyes closing. To just think, or if you've got a pen and paper to hand, you know, think about those things that you are good at. What are your superpowers? What are your skill sets? Write them down. And then once you have, you know, it could take a few attempts to really like get to the bottom of what your skills are and what your superpowers are. But once you have them, look at them. How can you make that into a message that's going to resonate with your ideal clients? Like, how can you use that in your marketing to really show who you are, what you're about? This is me. Like I said, it doesn't have to be in an arrogant way. You don't have to jump on a Facebook Live and go, hey, I'm this, and this. You need to work with me. It's not about that. It's about being unique, genuine, and getting your message out there.
Yeah, that's your only job as a business person. Like, you know, you've got a skill, but in order to make money, you've got to market that skill, and you've got to get people to think, yes, I want to work with you. So our only job really as marketers is to get people, is to stand out. So and this is kind of what we noticed in terms of, you know, the businesses in the room and what set those businesses up, and the earners, the high earners, the people who were had a lot of success in their business, however success looked for them, like whether it was, you know, more time or more money or more freedom, whatever it was that it looked like to them, those people knew and tapped into their uniqueness, really understood, you know, how to communicate that effectively so that they became their client's only choice. And that's what we want for you.
Yeah, that is going to actually, once you've learned to do this about yourself, it's going to give you so much confidence. It's going to like empower you. You're going to be confident to be able to shine no matter where you are. One thing that I did notice about all of those higher earners was they all wore headwear, like hats, headbands, sunglasses. Did you not notice that? I want to start wearing hats.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Start wearing a hat.
But stop standing in the middle of the room. Stop being invisible. You know, start standing out for the right reasons so that you become the only choice, because you're not going to be the only amazing cake maker. You're not going to be the only amazing photographer. You're not going to be the only amazing celebrant, you know, or wedding planner, but you've got to have something about you that's unique, that is going to attract people to you so that you become their only option. So step into the light. Step into the light. Stop waiting to be chosen. Go out there and get it, and stop playing small. Own your uniqueness. And that's all we're going to leave you on today's episode. Thank you for listening to our ramblings today, in terms of our kind of post-event come down ramblings that have been going on. We can't wait to chat to you on our next podcast episode. If you found this helpful, please remember to hit subscribe or give us a share. There's always, you know, we always want to get our message out there and impact as many wedding businesses as possible to make a positive difference inside of their wedding business and achieve absolutely amazing things. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please give us a share over on your Instagram, or let another wedding professional know all about it.
Yeah.
And we will see you on the next episode.